designed to support owners, leaders and managers in business. If you're looking to grow your business, contact mybusinessgroup.co.uk today for more information or follow the link in the description below. And as this is 90 after 90, I want to thank our sponsors, Cosmetic Repair Solutions, an independent award-winning network of vehicle accident repair centres located in Chesterfield, Rotherham, Dinnington, Barnsley and Derby. Get an estimate at cosmeticrepair.co.uk.
Now then, Blades, follow and subscribe to Blades Ramble.
What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this is 90 after 90. The 90 minutes, or up to 90 minutes, after the 90 minutes of football. I always get that bit wrong, don't I? Talk to me. Talk to me about how you are. Talk to me about how you're feeling. I suppose it's a good time to remind people that this is a place to have your thoughts heard and no one's going to judge you on it. I would be mindful of your emotions. All we ask is that you're respectful of each other. And, you know, we don't like swearing in the chat or anything like that because we're a family channel. We want people to be able to sit down with their kids and be able to watch this and still have a laugh. But emotions will be high tonight. And coming off the back of what was a really disappointing, one of the worst performances of the season, really, certainly under Chris Wilder against West Brom, we have followed it up there with 70 minutes of the same, really, I would say. So we dropped 2 points on Saturday, and then we're given a huge lifeline by Wrexham and Derby, who both lose. So essentially, we've gained a point on them. Tonight, Southampton, the other real threat in the chasing pack, lose. It's right there for Sheffield United. We can go within 5 points of Wrexham in 6th, who still have to come to Bramall Lane. So ultimately, for those that thought we were still in with a chance pre-West Brom and even post-West Brom, then the Wrexham result last night and the Derby result and the Southampton result, you may feel the same, that with 9 games to go, we still have a chance. I don't feel like that. I know I was on the fence anyway. In fact, I was further than on the fence. I was of the opinion that season done. And we'll start again next year. We know what we're doing. We can take silver linings out of it. I then spoke to some of you guys, both Platinum Ramblers on the line and people in the chat. And, you know, it was you never quite know, Jim. You never quite know where we're going to go with things. I then went into a 3 Mardy Blades with my boys, Man Mountain and Dave the Nose, who was take one game at a time and we'll see what happens. That were more Dave. And Mountain was saying, look, we are capable. This side is capable of going on a run and making a late play for the playoffs. He wasn't for 1 minute saying it's likely, but he was saying he still believes that there's an outside chance. And it got me. I got hooked in again, and particularly after 3MB, and then you see the results last night, it's right there for United again on a plate. Right there. And yet again, we self-implode. We start off well tonight. I thought it was the best possible team I thought we could have played, which I said to Jord, we've just done a watch-along for those of you that aren't aware, but just said to Jord that it's great that you're playing your best 11, and you should always really play your best 11. So it's going to sound a little bit nonsensical. But I looked at the bench and I thought there's nothing really that we can bring on there that heavily impacts the game, in my opinion. Blaster's not firing on all cylinders. It's not the Ollie Blaster that went down injured. I think we'll have to wait till next season to see that version of Ollie Blaster. Hjelde, I think, is a good alternative at left back, but at the moment not fancied over Burrows. And Burrows has been playing well. I don't think he played well tonight. And he is suspect defensively. But he got man at match 2 games ago, and he's been scoring recently. And I think it's a little bit easy to say in hindsight that he shouldn't have been playing and Hjelde should be playing. I would have liked to have seen Hjelde come in at left back and Burrows maybe further forward, so we've got a bit more of a balance in the team. Either way, the first 20 minutes I thought we were okay, we were good, we were playing well. We score, and then we're second best for the rest of the game. Absolutely second best. Because we were just poor. We were really poor. And what I have to say is, no matter how good you think we are individually, because I always back United, you might see me on Proper Football or on other channels or on it, certainly on here, but you'd expect it from me on here. I always back our team. I always back our players. I think individually, we've got one of the best squads in the league. But we do not deserve to get promoted. We don't. And that includes Wilder's reign as well this season. I understand why we're in the position we're in it. And I'll always go to bat for Wilder because I think he's the best man to lead us. But he ain't absolved of blame in this situation. I think everybody's got to shoulder a portion of the blame. I think what's happened here is, and it looked to me during the game, and apologies if I'm jumping all over the place, but this is just my raw emotions on what's been happening. It looked to me, and George was saying it looked like he'd given up at end, Wilder, and that is very anti-Chris Wilder. And what I mean by that is, I don't think he's certainly not giving up on the club. I've heard murmurings that some fans think he might walk and all this. I think he's as tied in now as he's ever been. I think he's as committed as he's ever been. And I think in a lot of ways, maybe not every single way, but I think he's a better version of what we've had previously. That's just my opinion. Certainly in the way he handles himself in the media, the way that he's able to communicate his messaging and stuff like that, I think he's really good. But he's also got that real side to him where my brother's got exactly the same. I can tell you what my brother's thinking just by looking at him. And you'll all know people like that, I'm sure. My dad's a little bit like that. If my dad's annoyed, I know. And he can't check it. Dave gets it from my dad. So Wilder is that. And when George was saying he's given up, he meant on the game, I think. He may have meant on the season. And I don't mean to talk for George, but I think he's had enough of a lot of these players. And if I'm being honest, I don't think he's had this squad from the start. I think he has been fighting a losing battle, trying to get the best out of them, but not really believing that they're the boys to go because they don't show the qualities of a Sheffield United side that we are used to and that we expect. There's only a very, very few of them do. I would say Siddy Peck does. And that's why, in my opinion, he goes with Siddy Peck every game, every game that he's available. He holds the traits that Wilder wants in a Sheffield United player. And I absolutely agree on a lot of fronts. But you cannot be blind to that. Siddy Peck was poor today. I'm a huge Siddy Peck fan. Absolutely love him. And I would love him to stay. I think I'm worried that we lose him in the summer. But he didn't play well today. And when you take Gyro Riedeveld off instead, and look, it may have been tactical. It may have been planned. George was saying, look, it must have been planned because you wouldn't have taken Gyro off. And you bring Joe Rothwell on, who's not a 6. So you're replacing a 6 with another 8. So that's 2 8s, nobody to hold in midfield. And from that moment, they're walking through us. It was so bad. I thought Tyrese Campbell had a decent first half. I'm not going to go back on what I said because it's all there in watch along. I thought he had a decent first half. I thought there were some really good touches from Campbell. Second half, dropped off a cliff. Absolutely dropped off a cliff. Tom Cannon did well in his involvement for the goal. Thought he did okay in first half as well. I thought he were very poor in second half. A lot of them were poor. I thought Callum O'Hare were poor today. And I don't like saying that either. Brilliant kid. Brilliant kid. And another one that Wilder will love because he gives everything for the shirt, but sometimes it just don't come off for you. I didn't think we deserved it tonight. I thought Norwich deserved it. The frustrating thing is, and I don't want this to get misconstrued either. I don't want to take anything away from Norwich, but I don't think they're all that either. I'm not saying they proclaim to be either, to be honest. It's nothing against them as a club or a side. They wanted it more than us. They ran faster. They were stronger. They deserved it. But they were also, I think, there for the taking. The Sheffield United side that turned up and beat Stoke City 4-0 or beat Leicester 3-1, we steamroller this Norwich side. And we're a shadow of that side at the moment. And it just looks like the players don't believe. So I want to hear your thoughts tonight on what you do from here, because I think we're at a crossroads now. We said this before. It's a little bit of a repeat of what I was saying 2 games ago, and it's unintentionally a repeat. And I still think he'll go with players like Davo and by the way, I'm certainly not blaming Davo for tonight. I thought he played well. Well is a push. I thought he was one of our better players in a poor side. But I would now push for somebody like Luke Faxon coming in. Just trying to knock my TV off. I'd push for somebody like Faxon coming in and seeing what he can do. I don't know. I don't know what the best thing to do is. You can't predict Wilder because it looked like a switch had gone off in him tonight with this squad, in my opinion. We'll keep going, and I'm sure we'll try and go again at Birmingham, but I'll be amazed if he believes we can get something. He probably does, because the points speak for themselves. The games that went our way this week, you'll only get so many of them. You'll only get so many. And we've had way too many. It's like 18 games lost this season. No matter how good you think our individual players are, you cannot lose 18 games and expect to get promoted. You don't deserve to be promoted. Now, I'd expect it. Yes, we can look back to Ruben Sayers at the start of the season. But we are where we are, and we have to accept where we are as a club now. This will mean sales in the summer. This will mean losing Gus Hamer most likely. There was a question in the watch-along, are we a better side without Gus Hamer in the team? It looked it for the first 20 minutes. And then for 70 minutes, we were very poor without him as well. Doesn't mean we'd have played better with him in the side, but you never know, because he has got that bit of magic in him. And I think we lose Siddy. Any of Siddy, Brooks, Sariki. And it could be any of those 3. It could be 2 of those 3. I doubt it'll be all 3. Just really disappointed. That game and this whole scenario this week sums up our season. It's been there for the taking, and we've not taken the chance. It's not like it hasn't been on offer. We have not been good enough to take it and go with it. In the international break, we will do a breakdown of this squad and what we need to do in the summer, who we need to let go. And it'll be harsh, I think, for some. And it's not personal. It's just we need a reset. Wilder started a rebuild here, and then he was sacked in the summer before he could complete it. And then it got ripped to bits again. And now he's got a hell of a job on his hands to put it back together again. So yeah, let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. Bean starts us off by saying, Bean, I said it like Rowan Atkinson then, didn't I? As soon as we concede a goal in a game, we crumble. Not even that. As soon as we take the lead, we go into ourselves and we become defensive. It's like we panic. We don't believe that we're going to see the game out. In-game management was horrendous. Correct. Their first goal was coming all second half and didn't make changes before they bagged. Season done. Chris says this team is poor. Very, very poor. Very, very poor. CW needs to look at himself. The players need to look at themselves. It's not good enough. 5 points dropped. We would have been 7th. Had we beat West Brom and beat Norwich tonight, would have been 7th. Can you believe it? Skyblade says difficult way to... Well, that in itself is a little bit of... Well, they might try and spin it that we're still alive in this race. And technically, mathematically, we certainly are still in the race. But look how we're playing. Look at how poorly we're playing. It's not good at all. We don't deserve it. We don't deserve it. And we're not only do we not deserve it, we're not good enough as a team. We might be good enough individually in certain positions. We are not a good enough team. There's so much work needs doing. So much work. Skyblade says, difficult way to start. Easier to say Tanganga and Bindon were okay. The rest were awful. Again, I thought Bindon were outstanding. Tanganga saved a certain goal. Last 2 games were like pre-season friendlies. Feel for away fans. Long way home after that. Yeah, it was just like a pre-season friendly. That's a great way to... There was no impetus. There was no attacking intent to what we were doing. And it's so frustrating. It's like... That's the worst thing about it. When you think something's there for the taking and you feel like players are going at 80%, and it's never been acceptable in a Sheffield United shirt. I'm really interested to know what Wilder's said afterwards. We've not played well for ages. Seem to have lost all our spark going forward. Roll on Mace has been. Absolutely. Everybody out bar Bindon, says Helen. Get the development team in for the rest of the season. At least they don't give up. They gave up, didn't they? There's no two ways about it. I thought they gave up tonight. Chip Butty says, same old mentality with us. We score and sit back. Pathetic. Joe says, that's that, unfortunately. The owners obviously regretted appointing Sellers, but was sacking CW the wrong choice. We're so inconsistent, and with the parachutes running out, I can see us being here for a while. Okay, so there's a couple of things to touch on here. And is there a way I can star these comments? No, there isn't, is there? There's a couple of things to touch on. And I'm going to get to my first caller because there's people waiting since I came on. I don't want to keep them waiting too long. But Chris Wilder, in the chat of the watch along, people were starting to say this. We need to have a look at Wilder. When does Wilder start getting the blame? And I understand that. And I said at the top, did I say it at the top of this or did I say it at the end of the other one? I might have said it at the top of this. We're here for everybody's opinion. And just because I think Wilder's the man doesn't mean he is the man, doesn't mean we won't let you voice your opinion on him not being the man. I want to know, for those of you that are, Wilder's not the long-term answer. I know there's not many Wilder out at the minute, but there's a lot that are sort of concerned about where we go under a lot. Those that are thinking, is he the right man? Does it not give you, and this is only a genuine question, does it not give you more comfort to know that, who would you rather have when we don't have parachute payments than Chris Wilder? I think the situation that we're going into, he's even more equipped to be the appropriate man for the job, is he not? I can understand why history would say that Chris Wilder with money isn't always the most responsible. That is the rhetoric. I don't agree with it, but that has been some fans' spin previously. But surely on a budget where you have to get the best out of players, and you can't always go for the best players, so you have to pull it out of them. And he's done it more than once with his Sheffield United side, by the way. I don't think there's anybody better. So I'd be interested, for those that aren't sure on him anyway, now that we're going into no parachutes, does that strengthen his position really as manager? I think it possibly does, personally. Free Shot says, shocking. Why did we wake up as soon as we conceded? Still played horrible. We don't deserve anything. I completely agree. We don't. We don't deserve it. Obviously, we'd all take it if offered, but do we deserve it? No, we don't. Norwich were a better side than us tonight. I don't think they're a great side, and I don't know how I can better articulate this because I'm not a wordsmith, but I think the best Sheffield United team that could turn up today beats the best Norwich side that could turn up. The disappointment and the frustration is we were nowhere near at our best tonight, but I don't think Norwich were either. I think they've beaten us because they wanted it more, they ran faster, they were stronger. Desire were there. I saw no desire from the Sheffield United team tonight, which is shocking. George says, that was absolutely disappointing, going 1-0 up and couldn't finish it to then losing 2-1. That's just mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Chris says, we as supporters are to blame as well. Atmosphere poor at the Lane all season due to all the prawn sandwich brigade. Yeah, then prawn sandwich brigade. No, to be fair, note to do it prawn sandwich brigade, who are the minority. There's a prawn sandwich brigade at every ground. I do agree with the overall comment that we've not made enough noise at the lane. I don't think the lane atmosphere has been that good for a while, to be fair. And as I say, I'm part of that. We're all part of that, those that go to home games. Josh says, that's on Wilder tonight, I'm afraid. I don't want to hear one excuse from him either. He's sat there, watched them pour it on us, make changes to press even more, and done absolutely nothing. Again, fair comment. I like Wilder. I am a Wilder in. I want him, but he didn't react tonight. But what could he have done? What attacking threat did we have on the bench, really? And that's maybe me making excuses for him. I don't know, but. Cooler King says, evening Jim, very disappointing, off to a good start for 20 minutes and then nothing. It was all Norwich after that. Blades looked tired, half-hearted and so poor creatively. Completely agree. Skyblade says, no marking at all. And they had as much space as they wanted all game. Davies is absolutely atrocious at corners and crosses. I think because of that we will struggle to win anything else this season. I'm a big advocate of backing Adam Davies at the moment. But I'm also not blind, Skyblade, and I agree in terms of coming for crosses and commanding your area and coming out of a crowded box. He's not the one, is he? He's not. We have to get behind him because he's wearing our shirt and we want him to do well. And by all accounts, he's a nice kid. So were Ian Brewster. We wanted him to do well and he didn't do great, always in a United shirt. It's not about how good a kid they are because it's nothing personal. He's not a patch on certainly last season's Michael Cooper, even this season's Michael Cooper. You'd be, But again, could he have done anything to prevent the goals tonight? I didn't think he was to blame this evening. He does make you wobble a little bit when you see him at set pieces, but certainly those close in with the corners and stuff. Jack says these type of performances is the exact reason we won't go anywhere. 1-0 and stop everything we're doing. In the second half, we got even worse. S17 says, don't agree with that, Chris. Norwich fans were silent all night, but that Norwich squad managed to lift themselves to find a win. Yeah, I don't think we're to blame for everything. I think we play a part and we don't always play our part, if that makes sense. Steve says, that was a really bad performance. Second half, it seemed like no one had a clue how to play football and pass a ball. Defensive subs, well done, Wilder, says Chris. Need a total clear out, says Alvectra. Shocking, says History Seeker. Ian says, disappointing to say the least. I have to say, even I concede that that's it now. Keep the core, extend Gyro, buy Bindon, and bring at least 3 players in who can run faster and longer than 64-year-old me. Oh dear, says Kel. Oh dear indeed. Oh dear indeed. Jez says, is it fair to say that Wilder has failed to live up his Messiah billing since he came back? I don't know that many, other than myself, bill him to be the Messiah that often anymore, Jez. I think it's a bit of a loaded question. I might misinterpret it, to be fair, but overall, I suppose the question is, has he been disappointing since he's come back? I think he'll be disappointed with the way certainly the way these last 2 games have gone. Because we were still in with a hell of a chance. But when he came in, we were rock bottom of the table. Below Sheffield Wednesday. Before they got the points deduction, obviously. But we were rotten. Absolutely rotten. And there were a comment that came into our watch along. If I'd have offered you 50 points and safety and a championship season next year in September, would you have taken it? And we'd have all snapped their hand off, I think. Because we forget how bad it was. So there was a lot of turning around to do, Jez. It's the only sort of retort I can come back with. It doesn't mean that he shouldn't have got us over the line or anything like that, but it's the championship is brilliant but also cruel because it keeps offering it up to you and then taking it away from you. It's on us to take it, but we never take it. That was awful, says Sarah. Kyle says, how bad have the signings been this season? Very bad. Very, 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 very bad. George says we seem to fade second half of every game. Need to have a look at fitness. Completely agree with that. Not bothered about losing anyone, to be honest. Maybe Brooksy. Rebuild in the summer. Try and go again. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Justin says, what did Wilder say to them at half time to come back out like that? It's okay saying Wilder is fed up of this squad. He's chased Hoover and Rothwell for years. Look how that's worked out. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Fair. Wilder's demeanour at the end was telling. Looks done to me. Up the Ramble. I think it's more of a season done thing. Maybe I'm clutching. Maybe I'm misinterpreting it. Rossi says, what a load of rubbish from first minute to the end. No urgency, no quality, no interest. It's done. Build now for next season for me, Jimmy. Up all the Rambles. Heartbreak Hotel, says Rob. Really feel for Davo, Tanganga and Bindon. What a team. What is team talks? People say Wilder doesn't tell them to sit back, but it's a clear pattern. 1-0 up, you go for the throat. I don't think it's as easy as that, Jack, to be fair. Daz says, Jim, what do you think of the pedestrianisation of Norwich City Centre? I'll be honest, I'm dead against it. But it does give access to Dixon's. And he's something about wheelchairs. Right. And on that note, no better time to bring in... Oh, where's he gone? Where's he gone? I had it all set up. Mark Meldrew were there. And now he's disappeared. So let's get on. The man who's replaced him in first spot. So I'm talking, I'm multitasking. People don't know I'm doing two things at once. I'm really good at this to, not let people know that I'm doing two different things. Oh, no, keep that on. Keep that on. He's here again. It's the man, the myth. It's Rich. Boys from the Dwarf. How's it going, pal? You okay? Let me unmute you. How you going, mate?
There you go. I'm not so bad, mate. You?
Yes, I'm okay. I'm okay. Rich, I'm glad you've come on. Every time you come on, because it's few and far between, I ask you to come on more often because I think you are very straight talking, my mate, and that's what we like. What are you saying about tonight, pal?
I agree with most of your comments.
Okay.
Or not all of them.
Okay.
Where do I start? I thought Bindon had a good game.
Was that the one comment you agreed with?
Yeah, well, yeah. Sariki has got caught out again.
Yep.
For that second goal, which was absolutely, you could see where he needed to pass it to Brooks and he didn't do. And I sort of agree with you with Wilder. It didn't look at all like he was bothered.
Now, don't put words in my mouth, man.
Yeah, that's the wrong word to use. But yeah, it was. It's the cardinal bit of. Do you want him to be jumping around on the touchline 5 minutes, ranting and raving? I agree with what you said at the end of the watch along. I think he's not happy with that squad. He's got to give it as lip service, like Chong and I'm trying to think of a few others.
Ings, McGuinness, me. Yeah, he's got to.
Bungay, all of them were bought. He's given Chong a glowing reference, saying, "Oh, I've always been after him."
Yeah.
Yeah, he might have always been after him, but then when you get him in the building, it's not always sunshine and rainbows, is it? It's some players just think, oh, they've made it, so they'll just down tools a bit. With what I didn't come on after West Brom because I watched that as well, and it lacked creativity. So you can't even blame Hamer not being in the team because even that lacked creativity. It almost screams at. Now, you might think this is a bit of a dig at Wilder, but it isn't. Of last season, back end of last season, we were getting 1-0s and then we were holding on. And then there were a couple of times, like Plymouth away and games we were just starting to lose and losing the confidence. And where you've touched on, where it's like Wilder's not, the team doesn't see that on paper. You've said this a couple of times. On paper, the team is a good team, should be top. As Wilder says, top 25 in the country.
Yep.
But that's individuals. Can you say that team is playing as a team?
No, not at all.
No,
not at all.
Yes, there was a time in that game today where there were trucking bodies on the line, but
Rich, I've had this conversation, not with you, but I think I would say we've got a better individuals than Millwall, who are in third, than Hull, who I think are in 4th or 5th, than I back us over Wrexham. A lot of people might push back on that. I think we've got a really good squad individually. And you're right, it's unbalanced for me.
All those teams you've just said, yeah? And you could arguably say 3/4 of our team on paper would get into those teams in the playoffs. But what do all them teams have in common? Millwall, never die attitude. Wrexham, never die attitude. I watched them against Chelsea. They were man for man. They were unlucky to lose.
Relentless against Hull as well last night.
Exactly. So it's the never die attitude, and unfortunately, from the teams where Wilder has got them up in the past, it's just not there. It's like he's pointed out a couple of times. It's the mentality of it. If rumours were to be believed, and we were after Darling in summer and that lad from QPR,
Jimmy Dunn.
Yeah, those players scream totally different to what we've got now. So it's I feel really down in the dumps that Tyrese has fallen off a cliff, because he has. Cannon seems a player in there, but it's been 18 months. You see flashes in there, but
I know, mate.
O'Hara. Now,
O'Hara?
Jamie. O'Hare. Yeah, Jamie. Was having that conversation with Ian last night on the Platinum.
That's been funny as well.
O'Hare, I hate to criticise him, but he needs goals in his game. He cannot. He runs about like the Duracell bunny, which I love to bits, but a player in that position needs to add more goals.
I think he's been a lot better in that position this year. In fact, I would say,
he's better. He's better than Hamer.
I would say he's been our player of the season up until the last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah,
and I don't, I think it's harsh to say any different, if I'm honest.
I'm sort of micro criticizing.
I know, and that's fair, mate.
He needs to add more goals to his game. I don't know whether you can clarify this, but was he a goal scorer at Coventry? Was he?
Not sure. I don't think so. Not particularly.
Has he scored more than double figures in a season?
Don't know. It's a good question to ask, isn't it?
Riedewald, fantastic. I hope he stops next season.
Do you think he will?
It depends who comes in for him. If a playoff team like a Wrexham goes up, who would they go after him? Luckily, the club, can't believe I'm saying this, but the club has actually done some very good business in signing him for till the end of next season.
Oh, I agree.
So we might get a bit of money for him. But I'm a bit down in the dumps where I was sort of like you said the other week, where we're coming on and saying, is the playoffs there or not? I'm a bit deflated tonight with that.
I can tell you, mate, just before I let you go, that this currently is his best return for goals and assists. Or it certainly looks that way in me just glancing at it in any season.
Careful, Jimmy. Careful. You're doing research here.
I know. Sorry, mate. He's in 37 appearances. He scored 8 goals, got 7 assists.
So that's say for a player in his position, for having a good season, would you deem that he would need double figures? Fair enough.
I think no. I think 15 goals and assists.
Am I thinking Michael Brown tinted glasses?
Possibly. If you're comparing him to Brownie or Illiman and Dye, then maybe. But anyway. Look, Rich, anything else you want to mention, pal? Because I'm going to have to let you go. Anything you want to say before I let you go?
No. I've had my little rant and
I'm glad you've come back, mate. I'm glad you've come back.
I'll always come bad. I'm like a bad penny.
Top man. Cheers, Rich.
All right,
See you
mate.
soon, pal.
Take care,
Ta-ra,
mate.
mate. And I'm sorry I had to rush Rich off there a little bit because there's that many comments coming in. We've well over 500 people in here. The comments are dropping off the top again. So when you get too many comments on this system, Regal says, heartbreaking, but I'm sure most of us knew the playoffs were over. I hope Wilder has a plan in motion, but come on, you Blades. Win, lose, or draw. We'll still be back for more. Adidas shirt sponsor incoming. Breaking news. Beep, 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 beep. Right, so because we're on, like, trying to get in so many comments, I'll try and make sure I get at least one in from everybody. I normally try and read every comment, but it's very difficult on 90 after 90. It's our busiest stream. S17 Blade the Lane is boring now. It really is, in my opinion. Raymondo says that second half was unforgivable. We looked good first half and then just sat back waiting for them to score. Bald and Brilliant Lee's comment dropped off. It said something about us being spineless, which I completely agree with. Obviously not happy at all with the situation. And somebody else has just joined. Oh no, it's Rich just making noises in the background. I just muted you again, pal. Batman Lou says, stand by what I said. Jim needs a summer of stability and a moderate turnaround of personnel. We'll lose a few due to loans and contracts. There are 2 or 3 I would try to sell as well. Up the Ramble, up the Blades, like and subscribe. Thank you, my mate. Mick Epp says, I'll say it again, we need to freshen up the backroom staff. If we're sticking with Wilder, another rebuild needed. Oh my goodness, has that dropped off as well? Another rebuild needed. Bin off the journeyman once and for good. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Looking to next season now. We are done. All Therapy says, shocking game. And we've been very poor all game. What has happened to us? Norwich 7 shots on target to the Blades 2. Doug says, I'm fuming, Jimmy. They're supposed to be. Don't know what they're supposed to be. Methven says, I never moan about Wilder, but he needs to take it on the chin. He got on his high horse Saturday saying about the system when it was clearly side to side and more of the same tonight. Adam says, absolutely gutted with how poor we've been these last 2 games. Squad simply not good enough. Subs did absolutely nothing. Only player worthy of praise was Bindon. Yeah, I agree with Bindon, playing well. Typical Blades, my faith in Wilder is dropping every game, says Yard Dog. Lee says, the lack of tactical substitutions when players are severely underperforming is a worry. Wilder sitting down on the bench and looking like he'd accepted defeat was very worrying. Yeah, I agree. He doesn't sit down on the bench. He doesn't sit down. He's up all game. Chris says, 2 inept performances on the trot. Wilder has to take some responsibility. The team shoots themselves in the foot time and time again. This side has not put a run together all season. Very poor. Up the Ramble. Sky says, need a proper leader. Apart from Peck, I can't think of a real character in the squad. Hope that is top of the list for pre-season. Yes, me too. Had a seller's feel to that second half, says Stick. Brand says, said after West Brom, Jim, that this team have no spine or bottle. That was glaringly obvious tonight. If you're someone who honestly believes that we will still get top 6, then you are delusional. Ian says, thank God I watched Muay Thai Championship instead of that garbage. And you obviously had the watch along on as well, didn't you, Ian? I remember you saying. Truth Warrior says, Wilder changes done that. I don't know if the changes or the fact that there were late changes or anything, but he ultimately picks the side, and I'm not absolving him of blame at all. J&A Challengers says we've lost 18 games this season. I think that is never good enough for the playoffs. Completely agree. Mark says Clayton Donaldson and Leon Clark could come out of retirement and score more than Campbell and Cannon. Oh, mate. 3D James says Wilder no longer unites the fans, no longer guarantees his teams play with passion, no longer demands high fitness levels, no longer dominates. We don't play good football either. Going backwards fast. Philippe says our ability to tough it out when we've taken the lead has completely deserted us this season, and opposing teams see it, take advantage, and are able to impose themselves on us sometimes with complete ease. Correct. Ed says faded after 20 minutes. Campbell and Cannon really, really poor. The bench is really poor too as a result of poor loans and signings. It need a clear out in the summer, and we go again with a fresh start up the Blades. That's where I am, Ed, to be honest. That's where I am, pal. Matlock says, evening, mate. Cheers for the watch along. Really disappointing turnout tonight. Lacking in every department on the field and a lack of passion. Unfitting of the shirt. The window can't come quickly enough for me. Thank you, my mate. Hope you're well. Tom says, I think that's probably season over for you. Surprised Norwich was so positive. They look mostly out of ideas and poor defensively against us in the Cup. Your squad, with good additions, will get the playoffs. Certainly hope so, pal. Certainly hope so. But that's one for next season now for me. Beast Boy says, that Dyson has my head on Mars. He's knackered. He's so bad at football. How has he played in the Premier League? I think that's Keanu Hoover that he's talking about. Alan McGregor says, I'm still looking downwards. Don't be daft. Don't be daft. GS Reselling says, I got to say I'm a massive Wilder fan, but tonight he's dropped a clanger. Subs too late, waited too long to react. Should have been done on 50-55 minutes when they were all over us. Strikers needed too. Isaac says, always looked like we would concede from a corner. Second half, Norwich stepped it up as they were nowhere near first half. Only positive tonight was Bindon looks better each week, but shows how we need him. Yeah, can you imagine what it would have been like if I hadn't had Bindon inside tonight? Dida Drugi says, been sloppy all season and agree with you about Wilder looking down. Joe says, can't keep blaming the board or blaming the players. Wilder will have 40 games in charge. I think top 10 is a big underachievement. Papa Blade says, I want CW to come out and take responsibility for once. That is leadership, not blaming young players. Jack says, if he can't get himself up for games, how is he supposed to get the players up? Poor coaching that. Let me just have a little quick look and see if he's had a post-match as yet. Because I'm really keen to hear what he said. And if he has had a post-match, then I want to listen to it while we're all together. Can't see one yet. Can't see. It's normally posted in our Platinum chat. Oh. No. Okay. Paul says, Bindon immense. We need to try and buy him. I'm not changing the manager again, says Luke. He knows who the Deadwood is. If he walks or we change next season, we'll be in a relegation battle because the same faces will be here next season. Liam says, what a shower of poo. The second half was awful. And why can't Gyro do 90 minutes? It all went wrong when he went off, I thought. Especially, yeah, I completely agree. Completely agree. Achilles says, really poor, similar to the last match at home. All our usual best players have been shockingly poor lately. Peck, Sariki, Brooks, can't wait for this season to be over. Keith says, got absolutely battered by Norwich reserves after we scored. Norwich had better players to bring off the bench than what they started with, to be honest. What a waste of a trip to Norfolk, says Kev. Owen says, with Wilder, we've got better, but still not good enough. We need so much more. Playing well for 20 minutes a game won't get us anywhere. Rich says, does Wilder walk at the end of the season, Jimmy, or does he do a total rebuild, which might take 2 years? So be a little negative, but as a Leeds fan, I love the channel, pal. Thank you, my mate. Love having you here. Mid-table obscurity incoming, says Rob. Never mind, Jim, says Al. Look to next season now. Saints got a very late equaliser. Oh, did they? Okay, fair enough. A very late equaliser. Steve says, give the other goalkeeper a chance. Possibly, yeah, possibly. Wayne says, wife's birthday today, totally ruined by such an incompetent performance. Really annoyed. We looked unfit, not bothered. Why take Gyro off? Peck, I love him, but it was his worst performance. I thought that was his worst performance under Chris Wilder, to be honest, today. I think we saw worse under Sayers, but we know why. Yeah, just really bad, to be honest. It's also Andy the Blade's birthday today, so shout out again to ATB. Hope you've had a good day, Dad. Alex says, evening Jimmy, not acceptable. Poor performance. 18 league defeats is abysmal. Unlucky. One more win keeps us up. Action location. Only 2 players played well. Gyro and Davis. The rest of them were very poor, Jimmy. I thought Bindon played well. Everything has to be sorted for next season. At present, not good enough for the Prem. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. John Asquith, top man, says, one thing I hate to say, but it's true. It was a gutless second half. No passion, no desire, flat. Isn't our motto outrun, outfight, outplay? It should be go one up and sit back. Harsh but fair. Harsh but fair. Chariot says, any sane person could see a goal coming from those corners. Awful defending. Had to smile. It reminded me of when McBurney helped us defend so well under Hecky. We are far, far away from the level of 2023. Dave Haig says, this squad does not have the stomach for a fight. Clear the lot out. Susie says, we have the team to win, to beat everyone 4-0, but when the players are off or injured or were poor, the difference of grinding a win or losing is gyro. We've not conceded with him in the team since December. We've not conceded a goal with Gyro in the team since December. Do you mean we've not lost the game? We've not... Wow. Phil says, hello, Jimmy. Win, lose or draw, the Blades Ramble is a great show to talk about United. Thank you, my mate. Years ago, we didn't have anything like this, and thank you for this first-class channel. Up the Ramble. Thank you, mate. Win, lose or draw, we still come back for more for United, don't we? But we're always going to be here as well as a channel. So don't you worry. We'll always be here to laugh, cry, or anything in between together, aren't we, pal? But thank you for the kind words. Ian says, they can't keep blaming Sayers. Wilder being in the hot seat enough time to get a spark out of that lot. Sky Blues says, I'm starting to think you can keep Hamer, all the best lads. Play up Sky Blues. He didn't play tonight, but I don't think you'd want him anyway, to be honest. Sheffield United today, says Andrew, 20 minutes of pure brilliance, 25 minutes of meh, 45 minutes of absolute rubbish. May as well have forfeited the game. Anybody not had a comment read before I can get to me? Next caller. John says, what happened after the sparkling 25 minutes, then total rubbish and stop pressing? This team is no way good enough to compete at the top end of the Championship. Never mind the Prem. Completely agree with that. Completely agree. John says, Wilder's fault, that result. Burrows exposed massively and he did nothing to help him. Stevenage says, we were lucky to get Wilder and not end up in the third tier of English football with the Wendy's. Yeah, there's short memories in terms of where we were when he came in. Cannon and Bamford were playing well, says Daz. Sorry, but that was poor after we scored, says Sam. Yes, it was. Walton says, I hope I'm not the only one thinking this. Here, I still don't want us to get promoted as our squad will get slaughtered in the Prem. We need to give players a chance. I think you've got to take promotion when you can get it. We're certainly nowhere near ready for Prem. They need to prove they deserve to stay and rid the rest of the bad players. So hopefully fix the wages now. We don't have parachute payments. Blagger says, evening, Jimmy. So much to dissect about this season, but last season we lost 7 pressure games due to our style. I think Wilder has the capability to make us better, but the style of football is so bad. Mike says, we don't always agree with you, Jimmy, but everything you've said is 100% spot on. Thank you, Mike. You don't have to agree with me, pal. That's what we're about, innit? It's what we're about. Killian says, and they said the playoffs were on yesterday. I know. Liam says, evening, pal. Gutted. Mistake cost us a point, but fitness is a big issue for me. We've always questioned it when Gyro goes off, we seem to lose control of the midfield battle. That's us done for me. Up all the rambles. Like and subscribe. Thank you, mate. Hutch says, very disappointed tonight. The team stopped making any effort in the second half and gave up like they're not bothered. Already thinking about next season now, and I'm fearful we won't get any better. Long way to go before kick off next season. Totally and utterly inept, says Russ. Weak, bullied, no pace or athleticism or organisation. Can't do the basics. Massive clear out needed. Selly says, Jimmy, they are not good enough, and Wilder can't manage bad players. Rich says, what's happening to the team that would score 3 goals in the first half? Can it really be the players' legs have gone? Too much uncertainty. What's happening next season from our best players? Christine says, we just seem to start well and so easily our players just lose their momentum and fold into a team that has no desire and pride. Completely agree. Smith Riley says, Leeds fan checking in. I was really hoping you lot would come up this season. In my opinion, you never sack Wilder. You will be at least top 6. Yeah, I agree, pal. I agree. Is Barndor Bamford injured? I'm shocked. Marching on together. Yes, he is. Paul says it's terrible to watch, to be honest. It certainly is. Darren says we're playing 2 up front, Bamford and Cannon, and then split it up. Matt says, it looks like December, January was a case of no pressure, just go and have fun. Now with something to play for, it seems Wilder is back to keeping it tight after going ahead. I hope that's not the case, but... Retro Shade says we need a couple of more wins to make sure we stay up. This team is weak. No danger of that at all. No danger at all. Chris says, don't seem to have enough men out on the pitch to pick everyone's heads up. We all knew that it was going to be an avalanche of attacks at us. Too many panicking with half-hearted clearances and poor subs. We've not had a comment read. Got a feel for Michael Brown. Every team he has played for has lost this weekend. Oh dear. Tom says strikers are poor at United and they were all signed by Wilder. Yeah. Josh says, my main worry about Chris is that he doesn't seem to have a plan B ever, really. And I will cut him some slack this season. He hasn't got much choice. But when we're healthy, it's the same old. I want to, but I can't really argue against the no plan B. But having said Chris has no plan B, it also seems the club doesn't have a B other than Chris himself. I just feel we're stuck in limbo somewhat. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. We need a post-Chris Wilder plan, and that we've been saying it for a while. It doesn't mean look to get him out or anything like that. He could, I think he's the right man. But what do we do? What's the next step for the club? Where do we... Because the 2 times he's left the club, we've dropped off a cliff and it's taken a while to recover. Disappointing season. Just need to get a win or 2 and go again. Fully behind Wilder. No one better for the job, but some of these players are not Sheffield United players and get rid. Rich says, looked absolutely cooked after 50 minutes. It was inevitable we were going to lose that game once they equalised. We need a clear out of the playing squad. I just hope we can keep the young lads. Tim says the priority for right back is to defend. Agree with that. Absolute garbage, says Stephen Snell. Sariki Hamer, Peck. Got. Okay. Gone, I think he probably means. Gilesy says, our fans need to stop talking rubbish. 2 wins and another loss from Wrexham. We are 2 to 3 points behind. I think to be honest, Ricky, it's I think it's fair criticism from the performances that we've put in. That's just my opinion. You're entitled to yours, pal, as well. But I don't push back on anybody saying, we're chucking it away. We've done this to ourselves. Because I'm saying exactly the same tonight. I'm saying the same. It's been there for us to take. The Championship has been not easy enough. That's the wrong word, but it's just been there for anybody that wants to seize the opportunity. Teams like Hull and Millwall have done that, where in years gone by they haven't been strong enough. And you take it one further, teams like Cov and Borough, who this time last year were struggling to make the playoffs. There's been a drop-off this year, and we haven't taken advantage of it. We are one of the biggest drop-offs this year, whether we like it or not. Gaz says, disappointed, but we go again. Next season is the priority now. Mark says, just finished work, Jimmy. Gutted listening to 90 after 90, cycling home. Oh, well, you'll be safe, pal. The Wren says, I honestly think the last 2 games were as bad as the Sayers games. James says, Borough wobbling like we did last year. Not bothered, to be honest. I'm not bothered. I don't think so. Rob says, it's never Wilder, is it? Come on, this is a football manager's job. If he can't do it without 10 transfer windows... I can't see anything. Oh, hang on. It's never Wilder, is it? If he can't do it without 10 transfer windows, then he isn't a very good manager. They've done it in other games. It's Wilder's job to get them at it, and he doesn't do it often enough. I'll take away the passive aggression there from you in the first little bit, but it's a very good point you make in terms of how long is it going to take to turn it around. I think that's fair. Again, I think it's another fair point to raise. Just see if I've missed anybody's out there. I had a comment read because I do need to get to my call as well. Waiting very patiently. Raz says, we were poor tonight. Don't want to hear any more about bloody playoffs. Shocking. Liam says 14th in the form table out of the last 10 games. And that's not good enough. And that's on CW. He got the plaudits when we were top of the form table, so he's at fault now. The squad's good enough. Yeah. Yeah, the players in the squad are good enough. And they're not playing as a team. And you have to look at Wilder partly for that as well. Of course you do. Chris says, start again next season. Look at the market. Who can we attract? League One gems, maybe. Up-and-coming flex enders and the out-of-contract didsies. Build again. We'll still be here supporting. Optimism. Love that. Right. I'm just getting to the point, I think, where most people have had a comment read. I think it's Chris's fault not, says Daniel. Thanks for doing this, Jim, says Carl. Can see it's hurting you too. Mate, it hurts when we lose. It hurts more when I think you accept that the season's over. It's just... Yeah, it hurts us all, mate, doesn't it? We need somewhere to come and unwind and unravel and sort of vent a little bit, and that's what we're here for. We're all in the same boat. We're all annoyed. We all express it in different ways. And we just try and keep it calm. Stick says, I think this guy ought to do podcasts for a calming app. Oh, is that me? I don't know who you're referring to. Play up Sky Blues, says Ben, just randomly on one of our streams. That's absolutely fine. You are doing very well this season, and fair play to you. Adam says, felt sorry for Tanganga and Bindon tonight. They did everything they could to defend our goal and got absolutely no help from the rest of the team. Midfield and forwards, not good enough. Fair. Aware to add more goals is our top scorer, says Bladesman. Rich works long hours. Jamie Dumpling says, well, I'm glad I accidentally fell back to sleep at around half time. Sounds like it got a lot worse. It did, my mate. It did. Rich says, just on a funny note, lads, you might be in the playoffs next year. Top 8. Sorry, but don't agree in it. Don't agree in it. Saying us Leeds fans might need it next year. Radaby says, were you that bad tonight? In fairness, they were one of the form teams since Clement came in, aren't they? They were good. We were poor. It wasn't. If we were both good, it would have been interesting to see where the game had gone. I don't discount what Norwich have done tonight, but I do think that it got beaten by a better team than us. And we should have been that team. Matty says, sorry, this is down to team selection, hence Wilder. Interesting. I am seriously thinking about, probably next season now, doing a pre-kickoff stream. And before we go live, even when I'm at the ground or wherever it might be, I want people's opinions on the lineup because I don't think there was many other options for him to choose from. We did countdown to kickoff, myself and Balder brilliantly. We picked the same team, I think, mainly. And we stuck with the 4-2-3-1 instead of the 4-4-2 that Wilder went with. We stuck with the 4-2-3-1 and we had Burrows on the left wing with Hjelde behind him, Callum Ware in the 10 and Campbell up top. But we predicted that he would go 4-4-2 with the exact team that he played. Because it were one of those two options. I don't really know who else you would have put in tonight. So I think it's easy to say that after the fact, Matty. But who else would you have gone with? SUFC Loyal says, sorry, but I'm not having this protection of Wilder anymore. He's done what he does best and pointed us in the right direction, but we don't change up and rely on the same threats or lack of. What are you doing then, Loyal? To rephrase that, the same system, same tactics, complete lack of plan B. You can't hide behind Sayers anymore, and I'm sure the injuries smoke screen will be the next. But for me, look at Wilder. All right. Okay. Yeah, because it's a big agenda from me, isn't it? It's a big agenda. Who's better? Who's better? Luke says, I don't want to sound overreactionary because I love the pair of them, but I'm not fully convinced Sariki and Brooks are the players we think they are. Sariki's poor defensively and Brooks' little output. Interesting take. You're not as big as you think. Know your place. Championship team, says Harry H. 2009. Michael Fisher says, wasn't he a newsreader? Oh, that Michael Fish. Typical can't put 2 hours. I would say shocking, but getting used to it now. Yeah, me too. The Bing says should have gone 4-4-2. We did. Lose or draw. We always come back for more, says Tex. Right. CPTD 19 says need to be very careful in the summer regarding who we can move on and if we can move them on. Worried we'll be stuck with many of them. That is a worry I have too. Rich says, good evening, Jimmy. Has Wilder had his post-match interview yet? Up the blades, up all the rambles, like and subscribe. Not sure. Haven't seen it if he has. Fraser says, as a Leeds fan, outside of looking in, it looks like the players just aren't playing for Wilder and should take a good look at themselves as the squad is more than good enough. Oh well, I'm off to watch the Dundee derby away at Dens Park on Sunday. We are SUFC perennial bottlers, says Carl. Oh, and I think I'm just about getting there. Season over for me now, says Matt. Bring on next season. New team, new start, up the blades, up the ramble. Josh says pre-kickoff streams is a great call. Got to put your money where your mouth is then. Be very interesting, to be fair. I always try and do it, Josh, and it's very difficult to do when you're not on a stream. Let me know what you think of the teams. I usually put an X or something like that. Let me know what you think of the teams, because it's going to be very easy to say, I wouldn't have done this after the fact. Why didn't he go with this? When you can circle back to your original comment that says, that's as good a lineup as we could have gone with. I just think it eliminates an excuse. And that's not to trick people. That's to make them recognise, because you'll view it differently after the game. And I sometimes think it just gets lost Michael Fish was a weatherman. Thank you very much. Is that what I said? I meant weatherman. I might have said newsreader, something like that. Okay, right. Very patient, gentlemen. I do apologise. Sorry to keep you waiting so long. I'm going to go first to, I think he's still awake. No, he's not. How you doing, pal?
Sorry, I can't hear you. Just a minute. What did you say?
What is that? Dearie me. What's your thoughts on tonight, pal?
Oh, don't ask me. I'm old.
I know. But you've been through this before, haven't you?
Yeah, but you know the Dead Sea, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I was younger, that was still alive.
Okay. And were we good? Were we any good then?
We were a lot better then. Yeah.
All right. Okay. As long as we had something about us.
Oh, it was awful, mate.
What do you do now, Dave? What do you do in terms of? Do you carry on with the same sort of players? Do you start blooding some younger players? Do you take a different approach?
Who have we got?
I know.
You know who have we got? I mean, that bench tonight, you couldn't put anybody on that you'd say they're going to affect the game.
I agree. I think you were bold enough to put in beforehand, weren't you? In watch along, you were all right with. I don't know whether watch along or platinum chat, but you were saying
it was both.
All right with
that. Yeah, platinum chat. I like that team.
Yeah, that's the best team. I thought. Obviously, mainly had slightly different ideas, but it didn't surprise me that he went 4-4-2, and I didn't mind it because he hasn't got any other options when you look at the bench, really.
None whatsoever. And the thing was, like, I know people keep going on about the past and that, but the first 20 minutes was a Chris Wilder team.
Yeah, it was.
After that, it was a Ruben Sellers team,
which is
we
really
just looked totally lost. Passes were going astray.
I know.
Nobody was getting to the ball. They were quicker to the ball than us.
What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts on Wilder's reaction during the game late on?
Well, I think he just gave up. Thought,
well, that's very unlike him, though, isn't it? It's a bit concerning.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, I'm not saying going, but you have to. I don't know. People keep saying we can't go back, but he didn't have a summer transfer window, did he?
No,
he didn't have one. He didn't have a summer with him. He came in, and the only transfer window he had was like the Christmas one, which everybody knows it's a bad window to try and deal in.
Yeah.
And he needs to have a summer where he can, this is who I want, this is who I don't want, but it's whether, like you said, whether we can sell them players that you don't want.
I'll be honest though, and I'm loath to do this, but I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit. He brought in Jairo Riedeveld, he brought in Patrick Bamford, absolutely brilliant signings, levelled us up, and those were his choices. I think since then it's been a little bit patchy. Obviously, Calvin Phillips, there's rumours that Calvin Phillips is out for the season, which is unbelievable to say he's played a couple of games for us.
It'll save us a few quid.
Not if we're still paying his wages. It's just playing him to sit on bench. But Rothwell, I'm not convinced by at all. And the other one that he brought in was Keanu Hoover, who I think he's brought him in on reputation, to be honest. And he's not really pulled up any trees. So
there was a point in the match when he came on, and I think Jordan mentioned it to you. Did you see what he did there? It looks like he got his pipes mixed up,
Yeah.
The Hoover pipes got caught up and he couldn't move. He just, and then he chased in Mike and
brings
got a
him
booking.
down.
As soon as he pulled him back, I thought, red card's coming out,
Yeah.
That's all we need tonight. But yeah, it was terrible like that.
And this is Mr. Moore with the positive blade as well.
Yeah, I'm positive we're not going to get in the playoffs.
Nice. Do you just to put a different spin on it though, Dave? Before I let you go, do you think we are well set up for next season? Is that the spin that you would put on it in terms of, look, he's the right man? In your opinion, is he the right man to lead us forward? And have we got a good core, even if we're going to lose one or two players, or three or four?
We've got a good core. And yes, he is the right man to lead us. But we need some players in. We need a bit of flair.
Yeah, we do.
Creativity. And
Bit
what we
of flair,
do
bit
need,
of pace.
a bit of pace, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of pace, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, there's only one man that looks as though he runs fast, which is Callum O'Hare.
Yeah, because his legs move quick.
But he's not strong enough. When somebody nudges him,
honestly, my Sophie's got longer legs than him, and she's 10. She's like 3 foot. So yeah, he's
looks like one of them cartoon things, isn't it? When you watch Bugs Bunny and your legs are going.
Yeah, with spinning feet. That's exactly what he's like, because he don't move quick enough because his legs are too little. But yeah, he's look, if he ran past players with ease, he wouldn't be playing for Sheffield United, would he? So, Dave,
not.
Thank you for kicking us off. Well, Yank kicked us off, Rich kicked us off, and then I had to keep you waiting for ages. But thank you for coming on tonight.
Well, I was just listening to what people were saying, So
it's one of them nights, isn't it, mate? But we'll regroup and we'll go again.
I like that idea about the pre-stream before the kickoff, where people.
Yeah, I've thought about it for a little while, so we'll see if we can organise something, and we'll maybe give it a chance.
Whatever you want, mate. If I can help in any way.
You are a top man, mate. You always help. You help just by being here and being a part of it, mate. So thank you for that, and I'll see you soon.
Brilliant, man. See you soon, mate. Up the Ramble, up the Blades.
Top man. Cheers, mate. Straight on to Russ. How's it going, pal?
Not bad, mate. You?
Yes, I'm not bad. This will be the ultimate test, because I think you are the ultimate positive blade in terms of, look, anything you can probably turn into a positive spin. What are your thoughts on tonight, mate?
Oh, I've had the right dressing down, haven't I? I dared to dream. You lot have just shattered me illusion.
What do you mean?
You lot?
I have. It certainly wasn't a personal attack.
Me?
What? Because I think we're done. Is that what you mean?
I think so. Yeah. Joking apart, I think. Obviously, mathematically we can do it, but it's unlikely. It's unlikely. It's inconsistency, isn't it? When you look at that first 30 minutes, and we played some great football.
Yeah.
They started to get themselves back into it. We should expect they are the home team, and they've got good form.
Yes.
The second half, we needed to be tighter. We just needed to stop chasing game when we were keeping that lead, and just had to be like an away team. So it was too open that second half, and we haven't got the stamina. Collectively,
thing, Russ.
Some individuals have, but collectively, we haven't got the stamina. We've seen that, and that then creeps into mental stamina as well.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We can't. The game management is so poor with this team, and whether you look at Wilder for that, or the players, or both, that is something that needs addressing. Because whenever we go a goal up, I've never any confidence that we can hold it.
Yeah, I think it stood out for me that over a period of time when I've actually commented on how well we've managed the game, it's often because it's been a bit of a rarity.
Yeah, yeah, possibly, yeah.
It has, but we're just running out of puff, And it's a shame because the potential's there. We've had these two opportunities, these last two games, is 6 points.
Yeah.
Look at first half today. You would have said we should go on and win that.
And we've taken 1 point from 2 games.
Get the reaction.
We
didn't get that extra burst that was sustainable. Feel sorry for some of the lads who were out there flogging themselves, but it just wasn't to be. It's a shame, real shame.
Yeah, if we'd have taken 6 points from these last 2 games rather than just the one, somebody was saying we'd be 7th tonight, and that just sort of shows how on offer it's been, and that we've just not taken it.
I'm sure we're not the only club. We're not the only club that's sat there in that clutch. That's thinking, what if, maybe
missed opportunities.
We played well that game. We've done all right, and then next game they're just lousy. It's that kind of year. And
we don't deserve it, though, Russ. We don't deserve it.
Even Norwich could just go and do something really crazy and get in there.
Yeah, well, like you say, it's unlikely, isn't it? But who knows? It's this league, isn't it? But I don't think we're good enough or deserve it this season in terms of how we've played. I still think we've got the talent in the squad, but I don't think we've deserved anything near playoffs.
I'm a bit colder on that on the deserving thing, as in if you get it mathematically, then you do deserve it. I think we're not the only team that's been inconsistent, mate. We really aren't. It's been the story of the season, probably right from top to bottom. There's probably only about 4 teams that have consistently either good or bad. Yeah. Our neighbours obviously being one of them.
Yeah.
But it has been crazy.
I agree on you'll deserve to finish where you finish, but I think with our players that we've got available to us, we should be finishing higher than where it looks like we're going to finish. So, and look, I don't fully blame Wilder for that, obviously, but it's.
I mean, yeah, and I don't think it. We just wouldn't. I don't think we've just got the stamina if we did get to playoffs. You know,
Russ.
So it's we've got to just keep looking forward. There's points to be taken. There's still wins. Definitely, we're going to win some games in this last clutch.
Yeah, I agree.
Be interested to see where we are. And there's players that need to prove themselves if they want to be part of next year.
Yeah, well said, mate. And thank you for joining us again. And I'll
You're welcome, mate.
Catch up with you soon, no doubt.
Look forward to the debates going forward. I think I'm planning and reviewing and crikey.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Plenty of content for you.
There'll be plenty of that to come, mate. Don't you worry.
Take care,
see
mate.
You soon. Cheers,
Good
mate.
night.
To that, mate. Top man, Russ. Straight on to... Oh, what's happened here? Let's see who we can get. Is it going to be Gaz? Thought I had Mark Meldrew lined up. How's it going, Gaz? Yes, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. Yeah, not too bad. Obviously, I've not seen the game tonight, so what I will say is...
No, you've been running line at... Sorry, mate. Sorry to interrupt. You've been running line at Charlton, haven't you?
Yeah, Charlton Pompey tonight.
How's it been, mate?
Yeah. Top of the league versus bottom of the league, and bottom of the league win 2-0. So, all's good.
That's football.
And the Observer was happy, so I'm happy.
Nice one, mate.
So, all's good.
Nice one.
Obviously, I've not seen the game tonight, but I've seen the comments and I've been listening on the drive home. But I just want to put some context on things, to be honest with you.
Do it, mate. Do it.
And yeah, I've heard some comments that Wilder's not made some right tactics choices tonight. I've heard Brooks was hanging and he probably should have took him off. Yeah, probably should have. Agree. But then let's look at some context. We were about 20 points off the playoffs when Wilder came in. We're now 8. And yes, we're not going to make the playoffs. But we're an inconsistent side. And we've been an inconsistent side all season. With no pre-season with the current manager. With no summer transfer window with the current manager. Tried to rectify that in the January transfer window. And let's be honest, every single Blades fan, when they saw that January transfer window, thought, hey, here we go. This is a great transfer window, if not one of our better ones.
We were live when we signed Calvin Phillips. We were buzzing. Yeah, because we went for it, didn't we? We went for it, no matter how far back we looked at that time. And I don't think you can sort of say, oh, how daft were that? It were a risk at the time, and it's not paid off. But I understand what you're saying, mate. Go on. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, exactly. And then let's look at. No, it's totally fine. Look at the side that we've got at the moment available to us. Davis, second goalkeeper for us. Yes, we've got Tanganga and Bindon. Tanganga's not playing well at the moment. Players going in and out of form, otherwise they'd be at the top of the Premier League. Bindon's playing out of his skin at the moment. Yeah, you've got a young right back in Sariki who couldn't even get in the side at the start of the season because his attitude wasn't correct. You've got Burrows, who's all right, a bit of a seasoned player. And then you've got no one behind. Me and McGuinness aren't at this level. You look in midfield, Gyro just coming back from injury. Peck, let's be honest, between him and Callum Ware, are probably up there with our players of the season.
Yep.
Tom Davies can't stay fit. Phillips has looked like he's got a bad injury. Rothwell hasn't hardly played any football. You go out to the wide sides, you've got Chong, who, let's be honest, has turned up probably once this season for 45 minutes. You've got Brooks, who we've all been saying has had his best season ever in a Blades shirt. What else can we do? Hamer has got touches of brilliance, but again, isn't at it at the moment. We can't go we can't play one up front because the only person that can do it is Bamford, and he's out injured. Nothing we can do about that. We've got Cannon, who, let's be honest, has never really performed to the standards that he should be for the money we paid for him. Yes, it was a Wilder choice. I agree. But at the end of the day, players don't always come off. We talk about the McGoldricks, we talk about the John Lundstroms and everything, but then there was 10 other players that we bought that didn't work. And then Campbell, who we all know, and we said it at the start of the season, he's just had a one-off season. There's a high chance he's just had a one-off good season. So let's put it in context. We're going to stay in the Championship. We were never, with our start of the season, going to make the playoffs. And every single club, I say every single club, I'd probably say 10 clubs are probably thinking we could have made the playoffs this season. This division this season is literally anybody could beat anyone. Wednesday should have beat Watford last night. The goal's a mile offside. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, let's have a bit of context. I understand people want players to put 110% in. They're probably on their backside because they've not had a proper pre-season and the fitness in there. And I get it. I do get it. I want United to be in the playoffs this season. Of course I do. I want United to be challenging at the top of the table. But let's go again next season. We knew 3-4 games ago. Probably, let's be honest, we probably knew after Charlton away when we lost that game that the playoffs were off. We were just all getting our hopes in, and like you always say, it's the hope that can kill us. But let's be blatantly honest. We'll win, lose or draw, we're going to be there. This season, let's give Wilder next season. Let's see what he can build. It might take a year. It might take 2 years. However, he's the right man for the job. I mean, it's been proven when we tried to bring somebody in, and it absolutely went Pete Tong. So, yeah, I've got a bit of a rant. Yeah, I've rambled on. But I just want to put some context. It's not all doom and gloom. Let's all enjoy the last part of the season. And yeah, if we don't play well on the pitch, let's all just go and have a beer. Let's go and have a beer, enjoy the social aspect of football, and wait for next season. And let's all get excited with what we do in January. And then we go again. Ramble over. Or ramble over.
Guys, that has to be one of my favourite monologues I've heard in a long time. And I think that what an absolutely brilliant way to put some context on it. And that is one side of the argument, I have to say that. There could be somebody on that feels, that it's time for a change and things like that. We could give just as an articulate an argument the other way. But honestly, mate, you've put that so well. In fact, I just want to jump in and read some comments. Here we go. Well said, Gaz, says James. Look at Gaz giving it one, says Ellen. Gaz has been on the Gatorade. Well said, Gaz, says Matthew. Spot on, pal. Gaz is man of the match, says Ellen. Brilliant, Gaz, says Dave Morwood. And just no one says preach, Gaz. Preach. Nate, can I just say thank you for sorting out. Well, normally for me, it's quite a lot of work to put shorts out for these. But I know where I'm going to now. I know where I'm picking. I know where I'm chopping up. And I know where to go. And Matt says, God, I feel so much better now. Yeah, it's... mate, thank you for that. I was going to say anything else you want to say, but you can't really top that, I don't think. So...
No. All I'm saying is I'm looking forward to coming up for Swansea, getting in the hotel, having a few beers with people, and enjoying that side of the rest of the season, even if we win, lose, or draw on the pitch.
We'll still be back for more, won't we, mate?
Exactly, Paul. Exactly.
Top man, Gaz. Well, fantastic, and I'll speak to you soon.
I'll speak to you, mate. Take care.
See you, pal. Top man. Beat that, Mark Meldrew.
You know what? I'm appalling. Absolutely sensational. Can I just say?
You're a bit... Oh, yeah, Kiana.
Yeah, I'm not right.
Your mic is awful. Can hardly hear you.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Right, I'm going to message you.
All right. But you've been waiting so long.
I've been here about 3 hours.
You have not. That's a lie.
No, I am lying. You can't hear me, though.
I can hear you, but it's very C3PO.
What about now?
No.
Right, we're going to bed then.
All right, pal.
See you later.
See ya. Ta-da, pal. Bye. See you in a bit. Much love, Mark Meldrew. We'll be catching. He's all over your screens at the minute, Mark Meldrew. So no doubt we'll catch up with him soon. He's got some new gear, and I don't know why, because I'm brilliant at tech, so I don't know how he can't figure it out. But just some teething problems, some gremlins in the system, and he sounded a bit like a gremlin then as well, to be fair. So let's get the last few comments in. That will tidy us up quite nicely. And if we get a flyer, we get a flyer. because we're all needing to go to bed, aren't we, after that? Liam says, also, sorry, I didn't get your first one. Absolute joke of a performance that second half. Got a habit of sitting back and inviting pressure. Bigger rebuild job than I thought in the summer, but Wilder's the man for it. 18 losses this season now. Also, the board can apologise for what they did this summer, but us fans have paid for the season tickets, match tickets, etc. We have wasted money watching this pathetic team. Definitely will not renew. Up the Ramble, like and subscribe. I'm sorry to hear that, mate, but this is how it makes some of us feel. So I'm not going to tell him, oh, you should be renewing, blah, blah. It's how he feels. It's that this is what we do here. It doesn't have to be all, come on, let's get... We want to be a place to bring people together and make you feel positive about your team. But sometimes, straight after a really poor performance, the second one on the bounce, it's not the time. It's not the time to do that. So, yeah, Liam, you take your time to recover, pal. And if you still feel the same come a month or two's time, then that's another conversation in it. But that's your call, pal. Warnock in his prime or Wilder in his prime, who was the best? Eric, no competition for me. I don't even have to answer, I don't think, because I think everybody knows the one I'm going to say. What do you think, though, Eric? What do you think, pal? Chef Paul says, we're going out with a whimper, which is so disappointing. It is. That's very fair to say. I can see a lot of the youngsters leaving in the summer. I just hope we get a good price and an even better sell-on clause. Rothwell hasn't played any football, says Jack, but we still brought him in to push for the playoffs. We were saying this team is up there in the top six. Not all of a sudden we didn't have the. Now all of a sudden we didn't have the squad. I disagree. I do think we've got the squad. I think I've been quite consistent in that, Jack. I don't know whether you're talking about someone else, one of the points that someone else was making, but I think the players are good enough, and they haven't been collectively good enough as a team. The squad is a top six squad, in my opinion. Mr. V, good evening, pal, says Cannon and Campbell are so static and don't give O'Hare and City anything to pass to, and it drives me nuts. Playoffs are over. And that's from one of the most positive blades you will find. There endeth the lesson, says Paul. Oh, yes, Gaz. Bottle that positive and sell it, mate. You'll make a mint, says Ray. Preach, Gaz. But we've been saying it's a team that should be up there. It is, but that needs saving from Gaz, says James. Oh, it will be, don't you worry. Gaz, can you do the halftime team talks, please, says James. Crimbo Fish Sticks says, I want to see Luke Faxon in goal for the rest of the season. I don't think we have anything left to play for, so let's try other players and get Burrows out of the team. I see your Luke Faxon shout, and I have also mentioned it in this stream tonight. So I am purely playing devil's advocate here. Because I can see an argument for playing Faxon or sticking with Davo. Because I don't think Davo's done much wrong at all. I know he's conceded 3 goals, but I don't think he's been largely to blame. It does worry me at set pieces and things, and we can go into more detail if we need to. I see your Luke Faxon, and I raise your Kinski at Tottenham last night. Now, I'm not saying they're anything like. We've not seen Luke Faxon. It's a wild card to say it could be great, it could be average, it could be somewhere in between. But what if that happens? What if that happens to our young goalkeeper and we put him out against Birmingham City, or a decent side at the level, and they knock 3 past him in first half? What do we do? It's a risk, isn't it? It's a risk that I'm taking. It sounds like a Dalek, says Walton. He's ace him. He's ace. Dalek incoming. I've never seen Gaz so gleaming, says Mr. Vic. Gleaming. What a word. No, night, Jimmy. We go again Saturday, says Rossi. Enjoyed listening to Gaz, says Rich. Yeah, me too. Baffles me how Ryan O'Neill couldn't challenge for a starting place or even make the bench. Surely gets a chance next season, says Chris. Yes, I completely agree. I think he will, actually. Go Gaz, says Russ. Oh, well, we'll be stronger next year and push for top 2. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. I love mine. I have played that advert, haven't I? I hope I have anyway. Yeah, I have. I played it at the beginning. I'm not going to play it again. Okay, so thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. Faxon might get time once we're mathematically out of the playoffs, says James. Yeah, I think that's a possibility too. I'm going to go listen to Chris Wilder's press conference now, or post-match interview. I'm really interested to see how he frames it. We'll be back tomorrow, believe it or not. We'll be back tomorrow with... I've got a Birmingham preview with Cal coming out on Combo. new show combo, which is the Jim and Cal show rebranded because we're basically doing combined 11s. Doing a little bit of a preview for the Birmingham game, but combined 11s. That'll be out at 5 o'clock. Then at 7, well, is it at 7? Might have been 6. Then check your notifications because we're on with Bald and Brilliantly doing a countdown to kick off already for Birmingham. So as much as this one stings, we are dusting ourselves down and we're going again. And it's on to St Andrews to play Birmingham City. So thank you to everybody that's joined us. Thank you to our callers. Thank you to everybody that's stuck with the team this season. Do keep it Ramble, but for now, come on, you red and white wizards. Up the blades.